the freeway, about to hit the wall. Angels driving me, cause I'm blacked out from all the alcohol. Foster home, still got the scars on my back to prove it, and the scars in my arms when I cut, just to get me through it. All of my struggles, so now I praise a little differently, but please don't get it confused. These are all his gifts in me. You counted me out with the devil, now didn't you? Laughed at me when I was down and I just kept forgiving you. That's just the way he made me, that's my cross, I guess I'll bear it. Cause the cross my Savior carried was so heavy, can't compare it. I may have seen some rainy days, but it's nothing to his grace. So with everything I face and all my ways, I give him praise. Through every storm kept me protected. I was reckless, gave me lessons, dropped me blessing after blessing. Yes, my daddy rules the heavens. See, I was made in his image, so you know I'm gonna get it. I was made in his likeness, so of course I'm feeling righteous. Don't be mad at how I'm shining, just take his perfect timing, mix it with some grinding, and you'll see the silver lining. I was made in his image, so you know I'm gonna get it. Made in his likeness, so of course I'm feeling righteous. Don't be mad at how I'm shining, just take his perfect timing, mix it with some grinding, and you'll see the silver lining. While you're watching how I'm sinning, should be watching how I'm winning. Jesus already paid my debt, and I'm already forgiven. Baby, ain't no weapon formed that could ever bring me harm. Yet my daddy is the king, and I'm protected in his arms. Not to mention all the power carried me my darkest hours, fighting demons, fighting cowards, insecurities devoured. Jesus on the main line, ready when it's game time. Say you don't respect me, respect the royal bloodline. Some get offended with every word I say, but you don't give me my joy, so you can't take it away. I know
Denzo Beach. Denso Beach.
Welcome home all. It is Friday and it is time for cheap date night at the end of a long week, long, brutal, ugly week, and a whole bunch of others going on packaged with that. But it is Friday and it is cheap date night. We got a little bit for you. We are, again, at the end of the week, so we've got cheap date night. I'll be immediately followed by the Glam Show. And then later on in the evening, we have the Financial Literacy Film Festival. And that'll carry me for a long way into the evening, right? That's going to be, we'll wrap that up about 9 p.m. Our time, Pacific. And so I'll be in in the studio for a little bit. But in addition to the Friday, we are continuing to have plenty of programming for you throughout the week. I don't want to make this like a programming show. It is cheap date night. But I kind of want to make sure that you guys get that at the back end. So I wasn't on this Monday. We'll be back on this coming Monday for 10 Minutes of Truth. So I want to bookend, the good meat sandwich we've got, a variety of programming for you throughout the course of the week, and mostly, almost all during, the primetime hours, at least on the West Coast, if not for some of you on the East Coast as it creeps later into the evening. But from Monday through Friday, you're going to have original content programming every night in prime time from here going forward, and with plans, to do more, and with plans to have more. And when I say more, I mean diversity of more, okay, and in content, if not just individually with the people, that will be doing the shows, hosting the programs, etc. I've got quite a bit planned out, and I will say that again. I think I mentioned this last week. After one full year in the current situation, current format of where we're at, Supermex Nation, and the inception of building and wanting a network of programming, I've taken a back seat in some cases, because to build something bigger, sometimes you need to take a back seat and you need to let some other people do their thing and grow. That's called leadership. It's letting others get bigger, even if you have to take a step back. That's being entirely comfortable with yourself and having an ego big enough to watch others flourish and grow. That's leadership. That's out of FM 22-100, military leadership book. So I did not post a schedule, so I'm going to apologize up front in advance. So I did not post a schedule. I got kind of caught behind some things. The next thing you know, it's like we're midweek and like, whoa, I missed some things, and that's all on me. So unlike some others, I don't just dismiss it, move it on. I actually acknowledge and place blame. The only place that it should be, the buck stops here. Here. So if I don't do something well, I'll tell you that I didn't do it well. And then quite literally, it's up to you to decide whether you like the honesty and you wish to stay, because obviously there's no evil intent. I didn't wake up in the morning just to make your life a little more miserable. But it's up to you to make that decision whether you like the honesty and whether you want to continue with it, because you can go somewhere else and either listen to lies, or if someone doesn't lie to you directly, watch this social psychological lesson today. If someone doesn't lie to you directly about something, they just won't tell you about something, or they'll dismiss and excuse, diminish, not acknowledge. And the intent being, subversively, insidiously, the intent being that you'll forget and you'll move forward, because they'll tell you something you want to hear, because they won't tell you the things that you don't want to hear. They'll tell you what you want to hear. And then if you're not careful, mentally, psychologically, intellectually, cognitively, if you're not careful, you'll fall for it. You'll fall for it. I'm telling you right now, if I haven't done something or didn't do it well, I'll tell you about it. I want the people who want that. Okay, and maybe that's not the whole planet. Maybe that's not the biggest number in the world. But I'm hazarding a guess, and I'm saying that there are more than a few people, more than a few, a little bit, more than a few people that actually like it that way. Just say it. Just say it. Deal with it, move forward, and then bring good stuff too, right? Good stuff is good stuff. But that's what's going on. That's where we're at. Got plenty coming. It is a tough time, and I'm only going to digress here for a second, but it's a necessity. Cheap date night was and intended for, the end of the week. Download a little bit, relax a little bit, and then get into the weekend. And you have a work week, and then you have weekend, and it's supposed to be about relaxing, spending time with family, enjoying other aspects of life other than your job or the required work that you have to put in to live, right? And that's all kind of turned on its ear a little bit, for the majority of the country. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because, we're at the end of the week. It is cheap date night, but and I'll say it, you cannot just the literal burying the head of, in the sand while things go on around you that are not good. And even though, again, it is cheap date night, I'll just say it and put it out there because I know for a fact as of right now, there are a couple people that I know that are friends, family, etc., that I know that now have, coronavirus, that now have the virus. Now, God willing, everything goes well for them, and there's no fatality, there's no ugly. Okay, but it's not that I wasn't caring about that before. Those of you guys that are in my group, those of you guys that are in Supermex Nation know I actually give a damn about other people. I actually give a damn about other Americans dying. And the reason I'm bringing it up tonight is because I'm getting kind of tired and the dark recesses of people's minds, if not the internet and other aspects. Getting kind of tired of people diminishing, dismissing, whiling away, saying it's not that big a deal, saying it's just another flu. Bullshit. It's not. Because if it was, we'd understand it. We'd have data on it. We'd have a vaccine. We can quantify it. We can understand it. We can have a strategy, because we don't have a strategy on it. If it were that simple, 50,000 people as of today plus would not be dead. Those are your fellow Americans. So I'm going to put that right in your face before we get into some lighthearted stuff. But I'm going to put that in your face because I'm getting kind of tired of the people that are dismissing and diminishing what has gone on. Because I've got friends that have the damn thing now, and it's not good when any American dies, period. And yeah, Americans die in car crashes, Americans die in cancer, Americans die in a variety of things. Who the hell made that okay anyway, by the way? Is it okay to say, oh, we lost so many to this thing, therefore this thing might not be that bad? Why are you complaining about the coronavirus when we lose this many people to some other form of illness, disease, etc.? When did it become okay? When did we become that America, by the way, where it was okay to just say, oh, it's not that bad because there are that many dead over there? Yeah, think about that. That's about as hard as I'm going to get with you tonight, because I'm getting kind of disgusted with the excuses and the crying and the bitching and moaning about people that don't think it's that bad. Be cautious and be mindful. Might be one of yours somewhere down the road, if not now. Think about that. That's truth talk. That was 10 minutes on the Monday we didn't do. It crept into this show. Apologies in advance. But yeah, just if anything, if not wanting to hear the truth, at least be damn thankful for the fact that you still have the ability to watch a show and live and exist and do your damn thing, whatever it be. Just be thankful. Just be thankful. And definitely around me, I'm going to say it, I don't want to hear anybody dismissing or diminishing the fact that 50,000 Americans are dead. Period. Okay, down to business. Business of having some fun for tonight. And it's not going to be a super long night. I'm gonna do a shorter version tonight, just because we've got other things going on. And I don't know, maybe it was just that, like, I've put a lot of time. I think you guys know this. I put a lot of time and work into those music lists. I think I'm bad about that. I didn't do that. I was gonna notify KP in advance, but so I put a lot of time and energy into those lists that I created for you, that are now available on YouTube at the very least, okay? And then I'm going to add them. Thank you, KP. That's exactly where I was going. So looking at this list, hold it here for a second, KP. So holding it here, So this is the main page of the Supermex International YouTube channel. This is the inception and the beginning of what will be the network, one form of it anyway. So you have the videos that, I mean, if you look at the far left in that corner, you got In Touch with the Miller Boys. You've got my show, you've got my daughter's show, you've got a whole bunch of shows that are part of Mad Productions with KP and Bobby. You've got stuff that are friends of mine, one collaborative group working together, a lot of friends helping each other out, sharing audience and growing. So you've got plenty of the video content going back to last year, a full year. And then go ahead and go with a playlist now, KP. And then so this is quite literally what I've been working on the last 3 months to finalize. And those lists are now kind of set. One thing I didn't notice was some of those lists have actually been getting playtime I was not aware of. The country list, one of them has like 80, 90 views that I wasn't aware of. Somebody's listing or looping that playlist. Somebody likes country in our group. But so I want to point out that the recent ones, and we're going to talk a little bit about those tonight. Again, not a long show, but I'm going to point some of those out. So the big ones that I really put work into were the list of the entire decade of the 2010s that was, basically a who's who and a what's what of a lot of different types of music and a lot of different types of artists. And in some cases, I mean, there are some artists that have 3, 4, 5 really good songs in that decade, but I didn't want to list all just their music because maybe there was this one-hit wonder that even though they're just a one-hit wonder, it's still good music. And it's an aspect of that decade. It is a microcosmic look at that decade at certain times, right? And here's the one that stands out to me, a couple of them actually, but I'm going to point these out. The first time I heard and I watched the video for Florence and the Machine, the Dog Days Are Over, I was like staggered, like, what the hell was that? Like, wow, who and what? She wasn't even a who to me. She was a what the hell was that? Just, I was thinking about this the other day when I was listening to some music in the shower, and like, just, an excruciatingly good, excruciating is not always bad, an excruciatingly good, piercing, soaring, and a whole bunch of other cool adjectives and descriptives of Florence and the Machine and her voice in particular. Okay, I'll never forget when I first heard that song. It just totally staggered me, right? And there were a couple others, throughout that decade that I heard like, wow, that's a hit, that's badass, that's incredible, who's that, right? The Goche song, somebody that I used to know, There Was Nothing Like It when it came out. Hosier, Take Me to Church, There Was Nothing Like It when it came out. And then there were others, right? There were others throughout that they bypassed and they altered music in its current form at that time. And that was significant to me. And so I included some of those songs in my list. It's 101 on that particular list. So in addition to once I was done, and here's where I'm going with it. Once I was done with that list, and you're getting into the mind of the Mex now. Watch yourself now. You can throw some chingazos right here. All right, you're getting into the mind of the Mex. But as I was thinking and contemplating / crafting what would be a music list that is indicative, if not, again, a microcosmic look at the decade, not 10 full years, right, of 365 and a quarter days a year, but 101 songs that for me, qualifier, that for me were quite literally a look at that decade. And I think I said this to my son the other day when we were on the phone. If aliens came and dropped down on the planet right now, not to pull, the end of the earth and all that mess, right? But they aliens came to this world to party with us. And they want to know, what kind of music you fools roll? And I'm like, okay, so here's what we got for this last decade. This is what we've been up to. This is who we are. That's what you'd want. You'd want to get this list to aliens so they can get an idea of who and what we are through the audio medium of music. That's what it would be. And that's kind of the way I approach creating those lists. So while I was doing that, again, contemplating and crafting this list, right? So while I was doing that, I was like, wow, man, there's too much good stuff here. There's too much good stuff here. So what I did was I broke that down. I broke that 101 list down, and I separated from the 101 the 3 best artists. And I said that on the night we did the special. Okay, so we did the special. So I mentioned the 3 artists. Artists, female individuals, artists, male individuals, and then groups, roughly, band, group, etc. Because even that's morphing, altering, right? So I gave you those 3, and now those 3 are lists as well on Supermex International, the YouTube channel. I've got to transfer them all over to Spotify. I'll begin plugging and hitting that more going forward. With KP and the shows that we do, we'll have the Spotify available to you. So they're not all up on Spotify. I've got a handful, but not the new ones. I'm not quite done. There's going to be more coming that will be up, on Spotify for you to listen to, in addition to what will be eventually the podcasts of all of my shows. It's going to be some work, and I'm going to have to do that, but I'm thinking about even going back and having all my shows brought to podcast, because those are audio formats, and all we have to do is not the video, but the audio component, and upload those and move those to podcast that will be on Spotify for a cleaner, more structured version than what Facebook is. And I'm getting a little into the weeds here, but some of these other platforms are better for specific things. YouTube, clearly better for music, clearly better for doing videos, that's for sure, but clearly better for music and crafting a cleaner, quicker place for you to go, listener, audio, audience, fan. You can go to YouTube and just select the playlist that you want, that you hear on the show, or that you might like, or just to check out what I'm listening to. I mean, that's simple too. A reminder, just about a half century, so I don't know everything. See how that works? You get older, you're supposed to remind yourself that you don't know everything, and that there are still things to learn from younger people. What's that? Scary, right? Not everything, mind you. I'm not trying to learn everything from young people. If I was doing that, I'd be young again, right? Don't want to do that. I'm happy with where I'm at. I love the life I've lived. But to continue to grow, continue to learn, and continue to experiment and be in that mix, you have to be willing and able to learn and listen from others, including those that are younger than you. And that is quite literally why I've crafted those lists, because they're younger, these artists, and they're thinking of what they're dealing with at their time in our nation's history. There you go, I'm going to be a history goon on you. But they are dealing and constructing their music, their story, their communication of what they see and feel in society currently, right now, for right now. Okay, and other musicians and artists have done that throughout the course of history, at least as long as that format has been going. So there are 3 other lists. I'm going to do a little bit of that tonight, then we'll break, because again, it's going to be a quicker show. But top 3 male artists of the decade, top 3 female artists of the decade, and my top 3 groups of the decade. I will post those out tonight into Facebook. They're all up now on YouTube, available for you. Let's pull that up one more time, KP, please. So those are available to you on YouTube, on the playlist group. There they go. So you got video, but you also have, so Supermex's top 3 hombres, 2010s decade. Supermex's top 3 femies, that's females, of the 2010s. And then the last one that I just did was Supermex's top 3 females of 2020, which we did last week, if you guys remember, right? You guys remember last week we did the top 3 females? So those are all new and current, good songs to listen to. I think I packaged that as the top 3 females that I'm watching going into this new decade, that have a catalog, that have good music, and that coming into the 20s decade are poised to do some crazy big things. They may own the decade. I don't know. Maybe somebody else will. But it's interesting that, once we get to 2030, we'll be able to look back. Well, I said that, huh? Once we get to 2030, we'll be able to look back and like, whoa, I was way off based on that one. Ooh, I hit that one out of the park. You get the point. It's not trying to be more than another or less than another person, but it's just seeing where your mind is at a time. Take a picture. There it is, right? We'll find out. So anyway, so what I wanted to do tonight, and again, just briefly tonight, we're going to not be, too much with you guys. Let me make sure I've got, oh, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to give you, here's the thing. Into the mind of the Mex. Watch this. Now I'm going to get a little animated. I haven't had my shot tonight. Into the mind of the Mex. So as I was constructing that 101 decades list, I created the other lists, and I said to myself, okay, so I've done the 3 females that I'm watching right now. Okay, they're not the 3 biggest females of the 2010s. Okay, I listed Rihanna, Katy Perry, and Taylor Swift. You can add another 1 or 2 there, go ahead. But that 3 is my big 3. They're the 3. By volume, by quality and quantity, and just impact in that decade. Just absolute impact in the decade. So that's my group, those 3. And I did that for guys. But here's the stick up. I have not finalized, watch what I'm doing tonight. Watch this, watch this. I've not finalized my list of the 3 guys and bands, by the way, and groups or bands. I have not finalized that list of who and what I'm looking for going into this next decade. I'm still experimenting. I'm still listening to a lot of music right now. So I'm experimenting, listening, watching, getting more to make my decisions on those, like I did for the 3 females. Okay, so the 3 females that we did last week that I'm watching that are big, that are like world right now. Not to say others won't come up on them, but the 3 ladies that I picked, that I chose, and I created a playlist for you from this past week are massive, monstrous right now. They have a catalog, deep catalog. We're not talking about a couple hits here or there. We're talking about, I think I did 10, 15 songs a piece for each of these 3 ladies. All right, so Dua Lipa, I did Halsey, and I did Camila Cabello. And by the way, all 3 of those ladies are really different than each other in all kinds of ways, in just about every way you can imagine. They're all different. They're all different women. And I dig that. I think that's cool, right? You want diversity of thought, concept, idea, and music. So all 3 of those ladies are different, and I created a playlist for you. If you didn't know anything, if you were the alien coming out from Alpha Centauri and now you're here, and you roll up on our planet in the spaceship lowrider, you know, playing Kid Frost, you know, because aliens could be homeboys too. They'll be my homeboys. So aliens are rolling up in the spaceship lowrider, and they're bumping some good music, but they want to hear some other good music, and they want to know what I've been listening to. Supermax, homeboy, what you been playing? We do that, right? I give them my list of Halsey, Dua Lipa, and Camila Cabello. And that is a great look. That is a great look at women kicking ass right now in music as a whole. Okay, like worldwide scale. Not talking about specifically like trap music, not talking about banda in Mexico, not talking about some Indian stuff over here, some Japanese stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that's the biggest in the world, being a little culturally insensitive, right? A little bit. But the 3 women that own the planet right now, that's on that list. So I'm telling you, Supermax Nation, and on my feed, watch this, on my feed right now, on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you choose to comment, however you choose to comment, guys, 3 young guys, I have an idea of what I want, but I'm interested. Because again, I'm creeping on a half century, but I don't think I know everything. By far, no. If the only thing that I have learned about being 50 is that I don't know everything. Clearly, I don't know everything. I clearly do not know everything. I'm doing some personal jokes to myself, by the way, at your expense. I clearly don't know everything. So help me help you. Help me help you. Help me help you. I air dry, by the way. I air dry. So help me help you. I want you guys to comment. Who are the 3 young guys that you guys are listening to right now? And by the way, it doesn't have to be like top of the charts people. I'm interested. I'm interested. There's this dude, there's this young dude. I know he's not that young, but he's been around a while. But it's a Spanish Spanish-speaking artist that I'm listening to a lot right now, and that dude is really, really cool. The songs are Carmesí and Lo que más extrañas. Yeah. Vicente Garcia. That's a guy I'm listening to right now. Now, he's not new. It's been in Spanish for a while. He's got a catalog, but I'm kind of checking him out. So, Supermax Nation. 3 young artists, or old, maybe they're new. You can be old and new. Watch that. Like that, huh? Old and new. You don't have to be young and new. You can be old and new. I'm old and new. I'm old and new upon you. So give me 3 artists, male, that you're listening to right now that are poised or could, poised, not Sparkle Magazine, but Poised Magazine, that are poised to go forward and have a big decade in the 2010s. Okay? So 3 male artists, and this one I'm really having a difficult time with, and 3 bands or groups, duos, that are also poised, not Sparkle Magazine, poised. That's fashion suicide, by the way. So 3 bands or groups that are poised, not Sparkle, to have a big decade in the 2020s. I said 10s earlier, but 20s. Okay, in the 20s. 3 bands, 3 groups, 3 duos, and 3 male artists that are going to be massive in the 2010s. I'm asking you for help. Watch this. Interactive, right? I'm doing interactive. You hit the thing on the video and it tells me where to go or what I should be doing. I'm asking you for help. Comment. Write some names. Punch them in. Type them in. Tell me who they are. I'll listen to them. On my honor. Right, that. You can live long and prosper on my honor. Damn, that's a line. I got to look at it. You can live long and prosper on my honor. Wow, I got some lines. I'm here all week, where at least I'm here at the end of the week, this time. So 3 bands and 3 artists, male, that are going to have a big decade. There you go. Pontification. That's you telling me some stuff about some stuff. There you go. Okay, so there you go. That's what I'm asking you for. That's how you can help me. That's how you can be a part. That's how you are involved in Cheap Date Night tonight. That's how you're involved tonight as my listener, as my audience. Give me 3 male artists. Give me 3 bands, groups, or duos that are going to have a massive 2020s decade so that 10 years from now, when I'm a little older and I still look the same, I hope. So when I'm 10 years older and I still look the same, let's all look the same. How about that? Let's make a pledge. Everybody here tonight will look exactly the same in 10 years. Now some of you guys are like, no, I want to drop some weight. I want to cheat. I want to do some stuff different. You get what I'm getting at. All right, so 10 years from now, we'll come back. We'll do this show and I'm like, okay, yeah, somebody got it right there. Somebody saw something I didn't. I want to know that. I don't want to know. I do want to know. Not who's taking you home, but you know. So I want to know. You tell me. 3 male artists, 3 bands, groups, or duos that are going to have a big 2010s decade. I reiterate. There you go. All right. So let's get down to some music. I'm going to play you a little bit of... Get out of here. Let me take a swig. There's nothing in it. I got no secret sauce tonight. Sorry. You're just getting straight filtered stuff. Not unfiltered, but filtered. Okay, so I want to do, we did the females last year. This week, because I'm kind of loading you up, right? I'm loading you up. I'm going to give you a couple songs. 1 song. 1 song, 2 songs. Kind of a reminder for the last decade. The playlists are up. Supermax's top 3 hombres for the 2010s decade. Already did that. But I need some help with you giving me your guesses, your predictions as to which male artist is going to be big going into 2000. For the whole decade, by the way. I don't mean just a one-hit wonder, and I don't mean an album. But who do you think is going to be big for the whole decade? That's not easy, ladies and gentlemen. That's not easy to predict. But I'm going to play some of the gentlemen from this past decade that did have that kind of decade, that were from the beginning of the decade to the end, quality, great music, not just chart topping, big streams, big sales, big concerts, big internet presence. You name it, they were it. And they had a lot of good music. So let's do this. Get my handy dandy notebook. Some of you guys don't know what that is.
It's on mine.
Oh, you better cut yours off. It is on yours.
There you go.
All right, good to go.
Put your Bluetooth on.
Okay, so
That wasn't bad. Watch it.
did I cut this off? Technical difficulties. 1 second here.
Scroll down.
I think it'll go. It'll go.
Okay. Because I didn't hear it connect. That's why.
Do it right now. Watch. Okay.
That wouldn't have been bad. Watch it.
Okay, technical difficulty on my end. My bad.
Is it working?
There we go. Connected. Okay.
I found a love for me.
It's cutting off on its own. Just check this out. So Ed Sheeran, perfect, big star, big performer, big whatever, all through the 2010s decade. I'm really, really interested to see if there's anyone, Ed Sheeran might be a once-in-a-generation writer. I don't think anybody will argue that too heavily. You can get somebody else maybe to also be that, but will be different because there's not going to be anyone like Ed Sheeran. I do believe he will be singularly unique in music history as a writer of his type of sound. Okay, I think that's kind of done. He's built that for himself. My point is, I'm playing it because he was passing. I want to see if there will be somebody. You guys can help me. I want to see if there's going to be someone like Ed Sheeran. It's not going to be Ed Sheeran. It's going to be somebody else. Some other young guy coming up. Some new guy. Maybe an older guy that's new, right? That just decides to write all of a sudden and craft some incredible music. Help me help you. Help me help you. Help me by giving me somebody interactive. Is there someone out there right now, Supermex Nation, that is the next Ed Sheeran? That's what I'm asking you for. That's where I'm going with this show tonight. I'm asking for you to be a part of what we're doing tonight in particular. I've not done that before like this, okay? But is there another Ed Sheeran out there that I don't know about? And if not, help me help you. Help me help you. Help me help you. Inform me. Educate me. Educate me. Get me to learn. Get me to listen. Get me to know something that I did not know prior to tonight. Give me an Ed Sheeran. Somebody give me the Ed Sheeran. See, we'll find out. I'm going to check these. You guys all do know that I do go back and I run through my Facebook lists. Some of you figured out I always go through everything and I like every comment, even if I don't always agree with everything you say. And the music's a lot easier, ladies and gentlemen. But I always go back and I like every comment because I appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to not just watch my show, but to also make a comment. And I know a lot of people don't do that on my end of the table, but I do. I do. It's important for me to do that for myself, if not for you personally. Okay, so somebody tell me that there's another Ed Sheeran out there so I can listen to this person to figure out if that's coming. So help me by educating me and telling me who the next Ed Sheeran is in terms of writing in particular. Okay. So the other ones, the other two, and I don't think I played this. No, I know I did not. That was not the song that made the cut. Oh, wait a minute. I'm really screwing this up now. Come on. So that's Ed Sheeran. Find me someone like this guy. Watch this. I need someone like this guy. Is there a guy out there right now, young? I'm doing it again. I'm being ageist. Maybe there's an older guy that is writing or crafting or producing, editing sound, music, beats, etc. So is there someone that you can educate me on that is like this guy?
You used to call me on my. You used to. Yeah. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. And I know when that hotline blink.
Okay. Is there another Drake in the queue right now? I'm going to do it again. Watch this. Poised, not sparkle. Poised, not sparkle. Poised to have a massive 2020s decade. Is there? Is there? I want to know. Want to know? No. I really want to know. Okay, because Ed Sheeran is not like Drake. Drake is not like Ed Sheeran. And either of those two gentlemen are not like the one I'm going to play last for you right now, this next one, okay? Is there a Drake in the house out there right now that I'm not aware of? And maybe not, because I don't listen to as much hip-hop as I used to. Full disclaimer, full disclosure, full all of the above. I don't listen to hip-hop as much as I used to, by far no. I thought it was better, I'm getting old, right? I thought it was always better in the 90s where it was raw coming out of the 80s. I really do. I'm not going to change that anytime soon, sorry. But is there a hip-hop / maybe soul, R&B, etc. artist that alters that form of music and takes it to other places that I'm not aware of right now going into the 2020s decade? Help me help you. Help me help you. Help yourself. Okay? And that was one of his bigger hits. And I do like that because, I mean, it's been done a lot of different ways. Some people have covered that and made it sound really, really cool in different ways, like an R&B song, just straight soul. It was pretty cool. And some of them on The Voice did that, and I really liked it. Okay, and then so the last one was my biggest male star, biggest male performer, biggest male artist, I mean, in every sense of the word for me. Of the 2010s, and I got to tell you, I don't know if there's anybody else that's going to be like this little dude. I don't think it's possible, personally. As I really like this guy. I thought he was unique. I thought he was something. He's on a continuum of all music. Let's put it this way. You could take this kid, drop him back in the 1960s, flank him with some Commodores or some, a whole bunch of other good groups from Motown, and this kid could sing that music and do it well, like really badass. He could do that in the 70s because he kind of redid some of that. 70s, funk, soul, disco. He did that, by the way. Retooled, reinvented, restructured. I won't say reinvented, but retooled, restructured some of that music. And he sure as hell could do anything in the 80s. Except maybe hairband, but with that voice, he might even be able to do that. Anyway, long story short, you guys know where I'm going with that. My best artist of the 2010s was Bruno Mars. And I love everything about that kid. Everything about that kid from the beginning. When I first heard him play with B.O.B., Got Nothing on You, Baby. That song. When I first heard that voice, I'm like, who the hell is that? Who that? Who is that? I knew who B.O.B. was because he was bigger at that time than Bruno Mars was. Bruno Mars was still new. When I heard Bruno Mars sing on that B.O.B. song, Nothing on You, I immediately stopped and I wanted to know who this guy was. The rest is quite literally history because from then on to now, to right now, he is massive, monstrous. And my comment was he was the best pure vocalist in pop, world, whatever, soul. He was the best pure vocalist out of the 2010s. And oh yeah, and he plays instruments, and he plays piano, and he does a whole bunch of other things. He arranges, he retools, he realters, a whole bunch. So I love that. I loved him a lot. I still do. I don't know if there's going to be another Bruno Mars anytime. Probably not. But maybe we get a kid that could sing like him. That's always doable. That's always doable. Somebody can sing like him. And then maybe has that other package, right, that can also structure music, can play instruments, that has the ear for all those other things other than the vocal instrument that he has right here. Maybe. I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna do a little different here. I was going to his singing songs, the ones that singers like, because they give you the ability to play with your instrument. Okay? I'm getting a little nerdy here, but it's true. I'm not going to go to those tonight because what he did was he altered himself as a musician. He grew. He became something different and added another aspect to it because he was a great singer already anyway, and he was singing. He's an incredible artist vocally, vocal instrument. But then he went and did other stuff, and then he changed everything, and then he went and had fun, and then he experimented, explored. That's what artists are supposed to do. And if artists stop doing that, then we are less as a society. You can quote me on that. That's historic. That's his story. If not his, my story for you tonight. I'm gonna fall off my seat. I about fell up on my seat. I was about to. This thing moves. I was about to slide. I think KP did something to the seat so I could have an on-air accident that might go viral because I fell. I see what KP's trying to do to me. KP's trying to have me go viral. I'm not trying to get no virus, KP. What's wrong with you? It's like, so about went up out of my seat. Anyway, so 24 Karat Magic. That is like mid-decade, and he just like, whew, it was like straight 60s, 70s funk soul that this kid did. And let's face it, there's nobody else doing that, you know, at the top of the charts doing that. He did that, and he was still big and massive, and it didn't alter or hurt him at all. If anything, it expanded him. So last call. Is there a Bruno Mars that I'm not aware of that I'd like to hear going into this new decade of the 2020s, Help me, help you. Help me, help you. Help me, help you. Okay? Find me, educate me, inform me. Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran, Drake. Who are the next three? Who are those guys? Okay? Who are those three guys? And then on the other end, you know what? I'm longer than I wanted to be, but I'm not quite that long. I'm going to do it real quick. So those are the three guys that I'm trying to find now that you can help me find. Maybe you're listening to them right now. Maybe you're hearing some music and I'm not hearing. Maybe you know some of these guys. Educate me, inform me. Write it up. Put it on the list. Put it on the playlist. Put it on the feed. Okay, now running fast. Did I do that? I did do that. Okay, so we'll go quick here. We're about to wrap up. So those are the three male artists that I'm looking for. The three bands, groups, or duos. I'm including all of them, right? Because there are some duos out there. The three bands, groups, or duos that I'm listening to going into the 2020s. I don't know who they are yet. You're helping me. You're helping me. Find me one, and maybe it's these guys actually, because they're still relative. They're not that old. They're not old. Maybe it's these guys. Play, player. Come on. The internet's not cooperating. Wow, the internet's not cooperating, but it's telling me I need to stop there. Okay, 21 Pilots. That song, Stressed Out, that was one of the biggest that gave them the attention. And they are growing and they're creating, they're going to do some other things. And I think I made the comment, I think if not last week, the week before, it was, I think my son that said that kind of group, that duo, those guys, if not them, but like them, that could be another Green Day. And so for those of you guys my age or younger, 20s, 30s, Green Day's they're good, and they've been good for a long time now. And they've done things in music that no one had ever done. American Idiot, I'll use the term again, a singularly unique time in our music history and album. Okay, American Idiot. That was like no album I'd ever heard before in my life. Still that damn good, by the way, if you play it. So maybe 21 Pilots ends up being like them. I don't know, maybe. We'll find out. We'll see. But it's a good call, I think. They could go that route. You know what it is with this. I mean, music and entertainment, you got to stay disciplined. You got to be willing to grow. You got to be willing to learn. If you don't alter beyond that, then you're probably going to get stuck in one gear and never move out beyond that, and you won't be big. Okay. Moving quickly. Find me 21 Pilots if it isn't them. Find me someone like them. Put it on the feed. Put it on the Facebook posting. And this was my kind of quiet discovery, even though it wasn't a discovery, for the 2010s decade. But it was sneakily how they snuck up on me over the course of a full decade, how consistently good they were over 10 years, quietly. I mean, you know who they are, you know the songs, and like, damn, they had a lot of damn good songs and a lot of good music over the whole decade. I think I already played this, but it's a good it's a good hit song. Boom. Come on.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind. Not a yes sir, not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder.
I love that video too, by the way. If you haven't seen the video, you got to see that video. That's a great video. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. This is the last comment on these guys. Imagine Dragons. They have good songs, and you know those songs when you hear them. You're like, whoa. But when you go through their catalog, start at 2010 and work up to now, you go through their catalog of music, and it was deceptively good. Deceptive how? You know they're good, but you don't know how good until you listen to the full body. Like, holy shit, that was a really good decade for that band, quietly, because other bands got more attention, one in particular. But they're really, really good, and I hope they last a long, long time, because that's a decade, right? And maybe they're not as big this next decade, but come on, man. I mean, that's just good music. So I'm really interested to see where they go. Imagine Dragons. This is my advice to you. Go listen to the full catalog of Imagine Dragons. Dig into their albums. I liked them before, and I knew who they were. But again, after all this time that I put into listening to them, amazed at how good they really are and how good they can be going forward. Because they're not old. They're not old guys. They're going to be around a while, and they're really, really good. Imagine Dragons. Just and for those of you guys that have always known that, apologies to you up front. I didn't. Full disclosure, I'm okay with not knowing something. I didn't know that the way some of you guys do out there that might love these guys and go to all their concerts, listen to all the music. Nah, no need to apologize. I'm just acknowledging that I didn't know that. I do now. First you know, now you don't know, now you know. Now you know. All right, and the last one, the easy one, because where aren't they? Where have they not been? I mean, literally, if not the one guy, right? You know what I'm talking about. So Maroon 5, Adam Levine, they have literally been everywhere, anywhere. They've been all over the planet, all over the nation, all over media, all over social media, all over TV, all over video, hands all over. For those of you guys Maroon 5, hands all over. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. And I don't doubt that this kid, that guy, he's not a kid, but that guy's going to be all over the place for a long time, because it's not like they're old, right? And even though, like, some guys get, they don't want to call him a rock band, because Adam Levine is at this point going to be historically famous for running that falsetto of his over 2 decades right now. 2 decades, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Songs About Jane in the early 2000s. We're looking at nearly 2 decades of dominance in the rock and band space. There is no one close. I don't want to say I hate to admit it, but it's just a fact. Dominance in every aspect of being an artist, musician, etc. Okay, they're just dominant. Now, whether you like them or not, at this point is irrelevant. I'm dealing on facts here. Okay, I'm dealing on facts. But they're just dominant. And I'm interested to see how they go this next decade. Is there another one coming? And by the way, great bands, great rock bands, etc. There's always another one coming. You just got to be, ready to recognize who the hell they are, right? That makes it a little more difficult. But anyway, so this will be my last one for the night. And you know what? Yeah, why not? So I'm pointing out the band, and then you guys got to find me. You guys got to give me the band you're listening to right now that you think could be as big as Maroon 5 or bigger. That's big. But I'm not going to give you a song out of the decade. I'm going to give you my favorite. Oh, it's close. I'm going to give you my favorite Maroon 5 song. Probably all time for me. Probably all time for you. For me. It's a hard one. It's going to be a hard one. And because it's right before this last decade. Right before.
I asked her to stay, but she wouldn't listen. And she left before I had the chance to say, oh, the words that we meant, the things that were broken.
Love that song. Won't Go Home Without You. That's a tough one. They got so many good songs, right? Especially off the initial Songs About Jane. Whew. Incredible. Never forget that album. Never forget. I played the hell out of it. Both of my kids know the hell out of that album in particular. But this one, Won't Go Home Without You. I mean, I love that bass line coming in, and I love everything he does with it. I think that's like the perfect representation of his voice. Just incredible. Okay, so those are, I gave you 6 artists. 3 males, 3 bands. Ladies and gentlemen, Supermax Nation, help me craft my next playlist. How about that? You're going to help me craft my next playlist for you. That's going to go up on YouTube and Spotify. Help me. Help you. Help me help you. Help me help you. Your input is going to inform me and going to direct, watch this, direct, not produce, that's KP. It's going to help me direct, not produce, that's KP. It's going to help me direct the next band or male artist that is poised, not sparkle, poised, not sparkle, for a big decade of the 2020s. How about that? I'm asking you for help because I'm having a little bit of time with it. It's hard. It's not easy. The women were easy for me. I was like, boom, it was clear. This one, not so clear. Okay, so there's a very different cheap date night for you tonight. I altered things. I was thinking about it all week, and I kind of didn't come up with what I wanted for tonight, But I said to myself, why don't I ask my own people? Why don't I ask you guys? Because there are a lot of musicians out there, a lot of people that love music, and that's why you watch the show. Help me, and I'm asking you for help. There you go. Somebody that doesn't think he knows everything, right? Because I don't. Just putting that on the table. I don't know everything, so I'm asking you to help me put together the 3 artists, male and 3 artist bands that I'm looking at into this next decade so I can craft my playlist for Supermax Nation and Supermax International, the network. That's what I'm doing with you. Okay? All right, so stay tuned. We're going to cut out right now, but I'm going to go out. The Glam Show's starting up right after, in a handful of minutes. And then at 7:30, we'll be back for the Financial Literacy Film Festival, the wrap-up of the Financial Literacy Film Festival. And we're going to talk to more directors, actors, and people doing good work to help others inform, educate, and make more knowledgeable themselves about their finances and money and how to go forward, live a good life based on your own financial literacy. All right, good project. We're wrapping that up tonight after 4 weeks. That'll be from 7:30 to 9 p.m. tonight, and you'll be able to watch it here, okay, as we wrap up. So that's it for me tonight. I'll be back this coming week. Got nothing but love for you. As always, safety briefing. Make sure you're careful. Follow the damn guidelines. All right? Seriously. I already said it. I've got a couple people that I know that have the damn virus. God willing, everything goes well for them. They clear, they get antibodies. They're good. But take care of your damn self and follow the damn guidelines. And I'll say it again. I don't care if you don't like it. If you think it's political, then something's wrong with you. If you think this is political. Don't listen to a damn politician that's more worried about how they look and what's happening in November. You understand what I'm telling you? Don't listen to a damn politician that's worried about re-election and how they look. Listen to facts, listen to science, follow the damn guidelines. Okay? I got nothing but love for you. Supermax is out.